Hey everyone, welcome back to another narrated series of our amazing Europe trip. Today we're docking into Lisbon in Portugal and taking a detour trip to Fatima. Now, instead of me telling you a story of what happened on this day, I think it's best if we actually tell the story of the miracle that happened in Fatima. On the 13th of May 1917, Our Lady appeared to Lucia, 10 years old, Francisco, 9 years old, and Jacinta, 7 years old. She asked that they return on the 13th day of each month on the same hour and for a rosary to be prayed every day to obtain world peace. On the 13th of June 1917, the second apparition, Our Lady tells the children that God wishes to establish in the world devotion to her Immaculate Heart. This time, about 50 people was present during the second apparition at the Cova da Aria. On the 13th of July 1917, the third apparition, with 5,000 people present, Our Lady confided to the children a great secret in three parts. The first is a vision of hell where souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God's will is to establish the devotion of Our Lady's Immaculate Heart. The second part is a detailed prophecy of the events that will occur if the Pope and the bishops of the world do not perform a public and solemn ceremony of the consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart. The third part involves a vision of a post-apocalyptic world in which future Pope is executed on a hill before a cross outside a devastated city along with priests, bishops, and other religious members. August 13, 1917, the fourth apparition did not occur as planned due to the kidnapping of the children by the anti-Catholic mayor who had threatened the children's execution if they did not reveal the secrets to him. The children refused to give in to the threat and were finally released 2 days later. In August 19, 1917, the fourth apparition happened and Our Lady speaks of the needs for penance for those who have sinned. September the 13th, 1917, the fifth apparition. Our Lady promised Lucia that she will return in October and in answer to Lucia's request, will perform a public miracle in order to demonstrate the veracity of her apparition. October the 13th, 1917, the sixth apparition. Our Lady returns to produce the promised miracle and with this following warning. People must amend their lives and ask pardon for their sins. They must not offend our Lord anymore, for he is already too much offended. She then identifies herself as the Lady of the Rosary and urges to build a chapel on that very site and tells us to continue to pray the Rosary every day. She then lifted her arms up into the sky, in which Lucia exclaimed, "The sun!" The 80,000 people who have gathered to witness gazed upwards and saw a silvery disk had emerged from behind the clouds, where others claimed to have seen a dancing sun. Francisco and Jacinda had passed away at a very young age from an illness. Lucia, on the other hand, had left Fatima to join a convent school at Villar de Port in 1921. The basilica began its construction in 1928 and was declared sacred or consecrated in October 1953. In January the 9th, 1944, Sister Lucia writes down the third secret as requested by Bishop de Silva, who held on to the secret from 1944 to 1947. In May 17, 1946, Sister Lucia finally returns to Fatima, and 2 years later decided to enter a convent called Carmel of Saint Therese in Coimbra, Portugal, where she spends the rest of her life before passing in February 13, 2005. And that concludes our short detour in Fatima. I'm sure this was a fascinating experience to those who were lucky enough to experience it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.